Happy spring, everybody. This is Amy Coleman'sberger, and I feel a little flustered right now. I'm not quite sure why. It is a beautiful day here in Columbia, South Carolina. It's going to be 82 degrees. So I have the back door open, and the dryer is humming, and the ceiling fan is going, and if you hear a bunch of background noise, it's just the signs of life around here. I am a mom of 6 and a home educator, and I've been married to Mike for 20 years in May, and I write and blog for women at middlemercies.com, and it's just a space where I write hope and rest and encouragement for women in the middle years of life and faith and mothering. So today I just wanted to hop on and share with you 6 simple steps that you can take for self-care this spring. None of this is profound or anything that you haven't heard before, but we always need to be reminded. I'm amazed how quickly we forget how to slow down and how to care for ourselves. And for me, spring is my least favorite season of the year. I know a lot of other people love it and feel all the feels for it. I'm not a fan. I find spring very tiring as far as the school schedule is concerned. I feel like starting mid-March till the end of May, we are on a fast-moving train. And there's always so many events scheduled and parties and projects, and I have a son graduating the end of May, and my daughter's going to a dance in a couple weeks, and we have an Eagle Scout Court of Honor ceremony, and my son has a science fair project next week, and it just feels like I have to take super deep breaths and manage my time well. And more than managing my time well too, I have to manage my energy well, because I can allow my schedule to rule my emotions. And I'm sure a lot of you guys feel that too, is when I feel deadline pressures, I am not the most fun person to be with. I get stressed by deadlines. I really love to live an open-ended life, and that's just not realistic all the time in a world where we have many children and school and community and church involvement. There are just deadlines in life. And so as much as we can, take care of ourselves in the midst of all the spring deadlines before we hit the beauty and slow days of summer, which is my favorite season of the year. Let's talk about some ways that we can take care of ourselves. The first one is, this looks so weird, but keep clippers in your car. I started doing this a few years ago, and I love in spring to take my clippers in my car. I'm always sad that I don't have scissors or clippers in my car, because invariably I will drive down roads where I see the most beautiful trees or random wildflowers, and I have no way of picking them. And so I started doing this, and my kids laugh because I will pull over on the side of the road and take my clippers and clip things and bring them home and put them in vases and jars in my house to add freshness and beauty. This is as simple as a branch that has fresh green leaves on it. In fact, if some of you read The Nester, her name's Michael Lynn Smith, and she has a blog, The Nester. She even said something on Instagram or a post recently about cut your branches twice as long as you think that you need them. And it gives, if you put them in your dining room or in your living room, it brings height and it brings a quirkiness and beauty, and I love doing that. Sometimes right now, I took a walk last night down my dirt roads, and I was sad that I didn't have my clippers. There are dogwoods blooming right now, and I'd love to just snip off one branch and put it in a jar, and it is just a way to add simple beauty to your home and to bring you joy and to slow you down. Azaleas are still blooming. Some of ours took a hit with that snow and that freeze last week, but you can just walk up to some azalea bushes and cut some off and put them in a low bowl with some water, and they'll be beautiful for days. You can put that on your coffee table, on a side table, next to your bed. But I think when we slow down and stop to smell the roses, it really does make a difference in our lives. And for so many years, my relationship with God was so based on theology and truth, and I had completely divorced the beauty side of the Lord and his love for art and his love for details, the way that he gave instructions for what the priest to wear and how he wanted the temple or the tabernacle. Like, he was so detailed, and it was all beautiful. And so we forget sometimes that God is an artist. You know, in Genesis 1, it says, in the beginning, God made. The first act is showing us God as maker. And because we are made in his image, we are makers too. And so we have the privilege of making beauty and art in our homes. And I think things like cutting branches and cutting azaleas is a way that I reflect the image of God, as simplistic as that may sound. If you're not into that, if running around town with clippers in your car is not your thing, it is great to go to places like Trader Joe's right now, have flowers. Am I going to say this wrong? Ranunculus? I don't even know how to say that word. Do you know how there's words in the English language that you've read them for a million years, but you've never actually heard them said, so you don't know if you're saying it wrong? Well, that's one of them. Ranunculus? Not sure. Hyacinths. I saw some Sweet Williams in there last week. These are all seasonal spring flowers. And so I would encourage you to keep some spring flowers in your home. This is called $2.99 that you would blow on a Big Mac. Maybe you wouldn't eat a Big Mac. Maybe you would go to Chick-fil-A. Grab some flowers. These flowers are usually only in season for a few weeks out of the entire year. They don't come back. Oh, yay, Renee, I'm so glad that you bought some. And yes, Jessica, love fresh flowers. I am the same way. And this is the best time to buy fresh flowers. I read the blog Jones Design Company, and she wrote a post on plants. I think I posted it on my Facebook feed in the last couple days, and she had a great idea. When she buys flowers, she tries to stick with flowers that are all the same color. They give such a big impact when they're that way. And she cuts, a lot of times she'll cut them really short, like carnations last forever. She'll cut a bunch of carnations down and put them in a low silver sugar bowl, and they look gorgeous. And in your office, on your desk, if you bought just a bunch of pink hyacinths or some purpley Sweet Williams, or the tulips right now are off the chain. Yes, they're $1.99 daffodil bunches. They are so good. I saw them there the other day. I didn't get any, but I need to go back because my hyacinths have already bit the dust. So I will, when I'm done with this live, I will put a link into how to take your big bunches of flowers that you get at the grocery store and how to cut them down and put them in a smaller container to just make them so stunning. I mean, and you could do this for a friend. I love doing things like this for friends. If you're going to buy one $2.99 bunch, buy another $2.99 bunch and put it in a mason jar and drop it off at a friend's house. It would make her day. Okay, so that's number one, is keep clippers in your car, on your walks, be hunting for beauty. Go to Trader Joe's. Publix doesn't have as great as Trader Joe's, but not all of us are lucky to have Trader Joe's. I have to drive 25 minutes. But pick up some flowers and add some beauty that way. Number two on my list is declutter your spring menu, or declutter your winter menu and do a spring menu. I love to eat seasonally. When I get really bored in the kitchen, it's usually because I'm making the same 5 to 10 meals over and over and over again, and I just get over it. And so I really try to, every season, I get a notebook piece of paper out and I write down about 20 meals that kind of fit that season. So for winter, it was Pioneer Woman's pot roast, and it was lots of Edie Wadsworth soups, and it's pork tenderloins roasted in the oven. It's a lot of crock pot meals. And so they're more heavy, meaty meals. Now that we've entered spring and it's lightening up, it would be great to take out a piece of paper and write down some ideas for spring meals. I really like Pioneer Woman's pesto pasta with cream sauce. We do that a lot this time of year. You don't need to make your own pesto. You can buy prepared pesto at the grocery store and just use a tablespoon or two in it with the cream in her recipe and mix it in with penne, and it is delicious. This is a time of year that I love to do grilled salmon, baked salmon. I mean, you can take salmon and put it on a pan and just drizzle olive oil, salt, and pepper and bake it at 450 for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's delicious. It is a wonderful meal. Asparagus is a big springtime vegetable, so start looking for asparagus. I like asparagus best stir-fried or roasted, grilled, same thing. Same concept as the salmon, olive oil, salt, pepper, throw it in the oven. You could Google roast asparagus and see the time on it. I don't remember, it might be like 8 minutes. But any vegetable roasted with some salmon is delicious. This is a great time for shrimp scampi, shrimp tacos, yes. I like to move away from ground beef this time of year and start using a lot more fish and shrimp. So take some time to get reinvigorated in the kitchen. Go through, if you have a Pinterest board of recipes you want to try, scroll down and find some things that are lighter. We like a lot of dinner salads. We do chicken Caesar salad this time of year. We'll do a black and blue salad where we grill top sirloin and then slice it and eat it over romaine with crumbled bacon and sliced tomatoes, and if you're into red onions and some blue cheese, crumbled blue cheese, and it is delicious with balsamic. Anyway, dinner salads. This is a great time of year for that. So revamp your menus, get re-inspired in the kitchen. I feel like a slug this time of year, and I am so unmotivated. So sometimes if I can just freshen up my kitchen spaces, declutter my pantry, come up with some fresh meals, it does a lot for my self-care. All right, number 3 is get rid of or pack away your too tight shirts. Seriously. I put on 10 pounds this year, and it's a combination of middle years and hormones and sugar and whatever else. But instead of shaming yourself or bullying yourself or being like upset, love your current season, love the body that you're in today, and honor where you are right now. Go to Target. If you wear a small and now you're a medium, go to Target and buy yourself 2 or 3 new t-shirts that actually fit you, that don't feel like a giant stretch, tight, awful thing across your chest and belly. I don't know why I will torture myself by continuing to wear clothes that don't fit. If they don't fit, they don't fit. Pack them up if you aren't brave enough to declutter them, if you're afraid if I get rid of them then I'll never, lose the weight or whatever. Just get a Rubbermaid bin, throw in those 6 shirts that do not fit you right anymore, put them away, and go spend, $30 to $50 on a few shirts that fit and actually you feel good in, that you don't feel constrained in. And I would say sometimes we don't embrace where we are because we're hoping, like I wrote down, embrace your current skin, not your hoped for summer skin. Okay? The fact is that a lot of us are so busy this time of year that we don't have time to revamp our eating as far as, a diet or more exercise or any of those things. Don't add more to your plate. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't add shame to your to-do list, body shame. Buy a couple shirts that fit you right now. This is what I tell postpartum moms to do. Don't have your baby and then think you're going to go fit into your shirts that you've owned for the last 5 years. Buy things that fit you right now. Love your current spring self. And if you lose the 10 pounds later and you shrink back down to the size small shirts or the size medium shirts or the size large shirts, then pull them back out. But for me, I am so tired of it being like 78 degrees and looking at my shirts and going, ugh, That's too tight. Oh, I feel awful in that. Oh, I yank at that and tug on that. Enough, okay? Put them away. Stop staring at them. And grab a couple things that fit you that you feel great in. All right. Let's see, I did 1, 2, and 3. My notes are super janky today. Number 4 is take walks and get outside. If you live in the South, you know that the humidity is going to get off the chain and soon. And the bugs are all going to be back and crazy soon. This is the time of year to get outside. If you love exploring your state, going to state parks, taking your kids on field trips, this is the time to, if you can, if you're not in a hybrid school like I am, or if your kids are not in public school, if you are a home educator who has your kids at home all day, get them outside. Put curriculum on the pause for 2 weeks and get on some hikes. In our state, we are so blessed to be near the mountains and near the beach. We are 2 hours from either one. And this is a great time to go see waterfalls. It's a great time to visit gardens. There are some gorgeous gardens in our state, and this is the best time of year to carve out some space to do that. Allow your kids to get muddy. We have a lot of water play this time of year, and at first it would completely stress me out because I didn't want them to track in a million things. Now granted, we need boundaries with it, but let them play with the hose. Let them make dams. Let them get dirty. Let them explore, pick up bugs, get them outside. I think by now we're all really tired of the amount of time our kids are on screens, and so this is a great time of year to start reining that in and getting us all out in it. It is so good for our mental health to get outside and get the fresh air. It's life-changing, really. And sometimes when you're going through a really challenging winter and you've been cooped up a lot, the absolute best thing for your mental health is just 20 minutes outside. In fact, did you know that it's been shown that if a son has 20 minutes a day in the woods with his dad, his ADHD symptoms drop significantly. So there's something to that. Number 5 is a duh, but still, drink lots of water. You know, we get more active this time of year, and a lot of us suffer from seasonal allergies, so drink a lot more water than you normally do to flush all that grossness out and congestion out. I heard a great podcast. Kendra at the Lazy Genius Collective, she did one this week. I think it was on birthday parties, but she gives a tip at the very end of hers. And her tip was take the clamshell of frozen berries, like blueberries, strawberries, whatever, just put them in the freezer like that and grab a handful of them and throw them in your water. I thought that was a great idea. And of course, they don't need to be frozen. You could, just throw fresh ones from the fridge in. But this is a great time to slice up a bunch of oranges, citrus, lemons, berries, and make your water super pretty and drink up. And the last one is take naps. I don't know why, but I am super tired every spring. I think it's the moving from a more slower and sedentary winter to all of a sudden clean. We are spring cleaning and we've got all this fresh air, and like I said, we've got our allergies going, and it's exhausting. I do not know what it is about spring, but I am exhausted every spring, and so I get upset at myself that I'm so tired instead of just saying, oops, there goes my phone. I hope that is not too loud and distracting. I don't even know how to turn that off. The bottom line is give yourself permission to take a nap. So if that needs to be on a Saturday, on a Sunday, whatever, you are doing a lot more output, and so you need to take the time to rejuvenate, to rest, and so don't hate on yourself if you just need to take a late afternoon nap. A lot of times this time of year, it gets to be 4 o'clock, and I just need to close my eyes for about 30 to 40 minutes, and I do that. And I feel so much better as a result. So that is all that I have. Nothing profound, seemingly profound, but if we actually did these things, we would be going through spring so much healthier. So flowers, declutter your shirts that don't fit, come up with a simple spring menu. In fact, if you can today, find 3 springtime meals that sound good to you to get yourself reoriented in the kitchen. Walks, water, naps. It's as simple as that. So I hope that you guys have a lovely Tuesday. You can share this post. I think it gives you a way under it to share with friends. Feel free to share with your friends. If you found any of my videos helpful, you can feel free to share. Again, I blog at middlemercies.com, and also you can find me on Instagram at Amy Coleman'sberger. And so I hope you guys have a lovely spring day and take care of yourself really well.